Business Morning, reaching you live from Lagos on Channels Television. We're being joined at the moment by Sam Onwabuwa. He is the president, Nigerian American Chamber of Commerce. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. And we'll be looking at the cost of doing business. I think I've actually introduced that before now. And at the moment, Nigeria has been ranked 133 out of 183 in the Doing Business reports. How does that make you feel?
Well, it's something that has bothered us, all those who are economic players in the country, and those who are desirous to see that this country competes favorably with the rest of the world. In a global system, we want to be seen as a major player. And what is worse, we've expressed our desire to be among the top 20 most biggest economies by the year 2020, and therefore we're in the competitive mode. And being in the competitive mode, we think we need to attract investments and attract the factors of production so that our economy can grow and become as big. But when we're at this level of global competitiveness, it undermines our ability to achieve our goals.
When we talk about competitiveness, and we've been through this road before, in terms of the issues of the infrastructure, the taxes. Of course, I know that there have been effort by the government to try and reduce tax, giving them tax breaks companies that come into Nigeria. But how soon do you think we're going to get through all of this? Because it seems like a broken record, more like.
Yeah, that's really is a challenge. For many years, the government has become aware with all the players in the economy, the groups. Is it Nigerian Economic Society, Nigerian Economic Summit Group, is it MAN, is it NECA? We've had interaction with government at all times, and we have brought this to their attention. And as I was drawing attention last week, by 1997, if you read Abacha's budget speech, you see that he put focus on how we can improve our competitiveness. But the problem is that policies are started and they are not followed through, and momentum is lost sometimes, and there is what you call, there have not been a single-minded determination and focus to achieve these goals. In some respects, some effort had been put. For example, in the power area, you can see that there has been a consistent approach since the NIPPs were put on stream and large investments were being made. But the rate of privatization to be able to attract private sector investment has been slow. Sometimes it's a start and stop syndrome. And the other factors that have afflicted have contributed on competitiveness, you talked about tax. The problem is that as far back as 1999, 98, there was this issue of issuing a joint tax board proclamation that limited the number of taxes which each tier of government should. But as I speak to you, somebody says the average company pays about 100 taxes in most of the states of the country, even though some of them are illegal. But can you imagine a company paying 100 taxes, or in a year? It's mind-boggling, and you can't find this happening anywhere else.
Okay, we'll try and come back to these issues that I try to note them. I also go on this discussion. But I have some numbers here, some data, which I would like you to just comment on. In 2011, Nigeria was ranked 108 out of these 183 or so as the position of just starting a business in the country. And 2012, it's now 116. Dealing with the construction permits, we saw that at 83 in 2011. In this year, it is at 84. Getting electricity has not been changed, despite the fact that we've seen some kind of improvement in supply of power. 176 was the figure. Registering property has not changed as well. 180 out of 183. And getting credit, it's gone worse, from 75 to 78. What do these numbers say to you?
What it says is what I have spoken about, lack of focus. a lack of a determination to achieve our goals. The reason why we seem to be going up and down in some respects that the rest of the world is moving. Nobody's static. We are trying to overtake some people. Those people are trying to move forward or refuse to be overtaken. And therefore, that calls for, if you want to overtake other people in a race, you need to power yourself. You need to put more momentum, more energy than those running ahead of you. That's the point that has to be made.
How do you achieve that? First, like a tall dream.
Well, it looks like, but it's not. It's doable. It's consistency of purpose. If you make a plan and determine how much effort you need to achieve a particular objective, then you do your plan of action and sequence it. What do we do today? What do we do tomorrow? What do we do the day after? Then what kind of resources do we need to consistently? Now, if you're in an economy where people are saying plans are made, money is not available, budgeted funds are not released, budget is not approved at the appropriate time, these things affect us. And what is more, there are other underlying issues. First is the apparent lack of work ethic, the declining productivity among our people, and the problem of corruption. You know, these things undermine the best policies. Government may mean well, but in the process of implementing, we lose focus. So I think that there is a drop in our focus on what we want to achieve, and then everybody is not pulling together. If people were pulling together and productivity and performance and results are being monitored, that's why I'm impressed with the president's KPI contract, the one he has signed with ministers, and I've asked ministers to sign with their directors and other parastatals. That is the way we can push performance. Otherwise, after we've finished speaking and making plans, some people go to sleep. Others are hindered by factors beyond our control.
Okay, you've talked about implementation of some of these things. Can we link that to the fact that there's change in government and introduction of new policies could have affected the implementation of the laws guiding investment in Nigeria?
Yeah, I believe that when you look at the hierarchy of the things we're dealing with, one of the major one is policy instability. You know, one regime starts a policy, as it's gathering momentum, another regime comes and then begins a new one. And in the process, we'll lose momentum and lose focus. So policy instability, policy flip-flops are also it's a major contributor to our problems. It's not that we lack good ideas. It's also not that we don't have people who know what needs to be done.